if you have never been competitive with yourself on savings, you're not going to know what that feeling is like. And just from a confidence standpoint, if you're not feeling very confident in your life, a great place to start is literally just create a savings. I'm Izzy.
I'm Maggie.
And this is the Long Game Podcast, where we talk all things faith, fitness, and relationships.
How's it going?
Good. Ooh.
I love your outfit. I also love that we have the green going on.
I know. I think we're always going to end up doing that, though. Actually, my other shirt that I brought today is also green. So.
Just matching. Yeah. Slightly.
Thank you for bringing these.
You're welcome. These were a last minute decision. Just a little bit of
They're
energy.
healthier, though.
They are. They only have 100 milligrams of caffeine. So it's not bad.
But I'm ready to get some caffeine in me. So
agreed. They're not, I would say they're not as tasty as like an Alani.
I know. An Alani. The tried and true.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but these are good. This is good. Mm-hmm. It's very light.
It is.
But I like soda waters, so it's like that to me.
It's true. See, I think I just need to drink more soda water.
You do need to drink more soda water.
Yeah. Liked it. But if I liked it, that would be such a great fun bev.
It is. I do it all the time. I put it in a wine glass.
Yeah. Just make it a little fancy.
Yeah, and then I'm like,
like,
and then I save cows and I drink something good. So
yeah, just a fun little bev.
Good.
I do like doing that. I like making mocktails and then feeling like I'm drinking something.
Yeah.
And it's still like refreshing.
Yeah. I had wine last night because Mitchell and I celebrated 2 years of being engaged.
I saw
We are also married, but.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was so cute. Where did you guys go to dinner?
Parthenon.
Cute.
Shout out to Parthenon Murfreesboro.
Did you get the Greek nachos?
Yeah, I did.
The Greek chose.
Also, I was right. It is all day. That guy just screwed us. But it might have come out correct on the thing.
They're like nacho deal or whatever. Like they're
it is all day. Yeah, it's all day.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it was past the time.
Well, I think when we went there,
that guy was a new guy.
The server, he was new. I just don't.
We were super nice to him, but
we
totally were. He was just like,
we weren't mean or anything.
No.
He didn't quite. Know
typically, I'm rude to my servers and like anyone,
and never tip them.
I never tip at all.
Yeah.
No. Okay, that's a joke.
It's a social construct.
I'm changing the way in tipping culture. When people say in tipping culture, are they saying actually in tips or in like getting taxed on tips? Because I don't know.
In tipping culture?
Yeah, have you heard that? I've heard that's the whole thing.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, and I thought you said in.
Oh.
And tipping culture.
And.
I've heard different things on that. I do, like when I go to tip, sometimes if I just order a coffee and it takes 30 seconds.
$1 every time.
I do $1. I'm
every
not going
time.
to do like 20% of my order or whatever.
Well, that is probably about 20% anyway.
But sometimes it's like way more than.
I know. You get the thing, they'll be like 30%. And I'm like, you checked me out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if that
Mitchell's a really good tipper, always.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but I have started to be a little more.
Dude, this is a great segue for today's topic. This is
that's
actually so good.
True. Yeah.
I will say, when we bartended, tips were clutch.
It's true.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
They were game changing.
Yeah.
All the way.
Always appreciated it.
Yeah. So that brings us to today's topic, which is kind of budgeting, talking about budgets, talking about how living below our means has been something that we have done, how it's helped us like progress in life, and just kind of managing our own finances. We're not financial advisors, okay? And we will not be held accountable to any of your financial decisions, but we are going to share kind of some of the tips and things that have like helped us like just be like do well, like, and not be like, drowning in debt or anything like that. So, my first question is, what does living below your means actually look like?
Living below your means.
Yeah.
I think it's really just being smart about your purchases. Like for me, it's making sure that I'm not making impulse buys all the time.
Yeah.
Also a big thing for us when we got married recently and
I was thinking about this.
To combine finances. Like I had someone ask me like, oh, like now that you combine finances, like, are you going to upgrade your cars? Are you going to do like blah, blah, blah? And I was like, there's no reason to.
Yeah. I don't need it.
Yeah. And I think really living below your means is going like, is there a reason to buy this, to purchase something, to upgrade, or is this just for how it looks?
Yep. I literally was going to bring up the car situation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for me, I think it's like, just because I think the culture is like, try and afford the max of what you can afford, which then like stresses you out anyways. But if you're just like, I just don't buy the most expensive car or the car that I could afford. I just buy something that like makes sense for me in my situation. I literally thought about that with you. How about being like, no, why? Like my car works. And Mitchell brought that up too. He was like, I mean, up until last year, I had the same first car that I had since I was 16.
Yes.
You guys should see this thing. It's absurd. Doesn't have a key. I still have it. It starts with a wrench. It only locks on the driver's side door. None of the other doors lock. Wait, no, actually, it's the opposite. Only the driver's side doesn't lock.
Safe.
It, if you hit anything on the back, like tire, you're just like, like drag. Yeah, I started feeling unsafe, and then Mitchell started driving it for me, and then we ended up getting another car. But that car.
You pretty much drove it into the ground.
I did. Like I did. I drove that across the country. I drove that literally all across California. I stayed with that car because I was not gonna. Because I bought it for like $2,700. That was it, and then I had it.
So crazy.
Yeah.
It lasted you such a long time.
So long. I literally still have it. So that's, and it's like, I am also. We were talking about this. I don't care about how cars look.
Yeah.
I'm not like.
But I think I've cared more about that.
Oh, really?
And I've at least been aware of it. Like when I had my first car, I felt like I loved her, but I felt like she looked old.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was aware of that. And it never pushed me to go, I need a new car right now.
Yeah, but you were more like, I'm showing up.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think for a lot of people, it's the appearance of how it looks. Like if I have a new car, but it's like, if you can't afford one, if you're making huge payments every month.
Yeah. Also, I grew up driving around in that massive kidnap style van.
Yep. The 15 passenger.
Yeah.
You guys had a 15 passenger.
No, it was a 12, I think.
Okay.
Oh my Lord.
We had a 12 too. We had a white one.
Yeah. We had a silver one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours was worse, honestly.
Yeah, ours was worse.
Actually, no, I don't know.
No,
they were bad.
There's always a stereotype like the white pervert van.
The white.
Yeah.
Maggie whipped in that. I actually never drove it though, because by the time I was able to drive, we got rid of it because my mom hated it.
Yeah,
we've talked about this before, actually.
Yeah, your mom did not like it. I don't think my mom ever.
Yeah. So I would say I gotta really scooch here. Okay, that's so much better. Already I need to do this. Okay, so
what would you say like living below your means?
Yeah, like? Really the car thing for sure.
Yeah.
The car thing. Like but it's also not something that matters to me and has mattered to me, so it's not a hard thing for me to be like, I'll just drive around this piece of junk.
Right.
You know, like I just don't care. I know other people care, so if that's harder, still just find something a little more middle of the road. Yeah, something that's a little more like, all right, I can go. But that's literally what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay, when did you realize you needed to shift your mindset around money? Okay, do you want to go? You want me to go? Because I have
No, you
something.
go.
Okay,
I feel like you know, yeah.
All right, so I have like 2 shifts. Mainly, so the more recent shift for me was once I started like making more money, I was like, okay, I don't need to live like I am so poor, you know?
Like that, frugally.
Yeah, because I had too much of like the poverty mindset and I gotta hold on to it and I can't, you know, because I was talking to Mitchell about this today, just like how what we would do for groceries and like every single thing. I was like, okay, I don't need to still be doing this to this extreme. So I had to have that shift more recently of just like, hey, it's okay. Like I don't need to be like penny pinching things and it's just not a fun way to live. Or like,
how did you like shift? Like, how did that happen?
Well, I had to do a deep dive in looking at my relationship with money. And I think I told you about this, but just like, if you look at money as if it was an actual person in your life and you had an actual relationship with that person, how have you treated that person? And when I actually looked at that and I was like, how have I treated this person of money? I gave it a name and everything. I called it generosity because I was like, that's like a fun, I don't know. So I was like, how have I treated generosity in my life, which is really money? I was like, when I've gotten it, how have I treated it? Have I been like, oh, I'm so grateful? Or have I been like, it's just not enough? And I would like urge people to check, like, watch yourself. When you get money, what is your reaction? Are you celebrating that? Are you, being grateful for it? Or are you like, oh, it's got to be more. It's got to be more. It's got to be more.
Interesting.
And so that was something I was like, I had to have that huge shift. And then once I did, I was like, I mean, I'm still working on it, but I think if you've been just budgeting for like so long and getting by for so long, once you do have more money, you're like, I don't even know how to like not be fearful with getting it. I don't know. Does that
does make sense.
Did that do you have anything similar to that, or no? It's different for you.
I think that for me, I never felt like I was tight fisting money.
Yeah.
Ever.
You've always been so generous.
Oh, thank you.
No, you have.
Well,
even with like food, when we have like no money, you just like buy me Chipotle or something. I'm like, this is so expensive.
No, I mean, I do like to be like that. I definitely want to continue to be more like that as well. And I don't want to tight fist money. I think that's something that changed for me is I was afraid to like physically write down financial goals.
Oh, wow.
Because I think I was just like, oh, I won't hit them. Or I just like didn't even want to like put that down ever. I don't know why. I think I was also just like, I didn't even know where to start. And so I remember like the first time years ago when I wrote something down, I was like, this is a big deal. Like I was like, I want to have this much in my bank account by the end of the year. And it happened and it was great. It was like, and I think that there is something so helpful about writing it down and actually having a goal. Yeah. And so anyway, I don't think that I've had any like huge mindset shifts besides that one. And that was really helpful for me.
Yeah, that's so good. I think more people need to think about that. Because otherwise, then it just goes. You're just like, boo, boo.
Yeah, you're not really aware of like what's coming in, what's going out. And I honestly like need to work on that still. Yeah, like still really hard. To have a better budget.
There's a balance for sure with it.
Yeah. But I also love being able to just go, no, I'll take care of that or I'll buy this for that person. And I don't want to think about it. I love to be like that.
It is the best. Just I got it. It's fine. Yeah. That is a great
and not
feeling.
Have to give it a second thought later or be like, oh, should I have done that? And so I love that about you too. You're very much like that, where it's just like, I got it today. No worries.
It's all good. Yeah. It is such a gift for me and for whoever else.
Because you haven't always had the ability to do that. We haven't always had the ability
been
to do
able
that,
to be the one to be like, I got it. If you can, it's the greatest feeling. Yeah. Agreed. This is a good segue. Okay. So how did you make saving money feel empowering instead of restrictive? So I love that you said you wrote down a goal, because I was going to actually say that like, that's the huge, if you have never been competitive with yourself on savings, you're not going to know what that feeling is like. You don't know actually that reward of, I mean, and just from a confidence standpoint, if you're not feeling very confident in your life, a great place to start is literally just create a savings, because it just gives you this like, it's okay. Yeah. Right. It's okay. Whatever's happening is okay because I got this to fall back on too. And so, but when you do start getting competitive with savings and you see that number going up, it is empowering, because you're like, I did that. I saved that. I didn't just like get it, throw it away. Like again, the relationship. Do I take good care of you when I get you? Do I act responsibly, in this relationship?
Yes.
And I think doing that and then seeing that number go up, you're like, this feels good,
I love that.
Yeah,
I agree. I would also say, like, going back to being able to cover someone's meal or whatever, it's that balance of, yes, I'm saving this money, but I also have margin to make fun purchases, to decide when I want to be generous, whatever it is. Like, there's that balance of both.
Yes.
Where it doesn't feel so restrictive that there's never any room to stray from the budget or from the plan. That's so true.
Because I've also gone hardcore the other side. Yeah. And you've seen me on that side. Yeah. Which if I had to go back, I'd still do it, because I think it's a good discipline.
There's value there.
Yeah, and I've talked about it before, just how I've done like a year without buying clothes, or you just cut something out for an entire year. Like, I will not purchase this thing that I want. It also makes you really creative, like the poverty week thing. I still think that's a fun thing to try. It's literally where you do not spend a penny for an entire week. So like, even on gas, groceries. And so you have to plan ahead, and if you run out, you have to like just be creative. Like, I remember being like, I need bread. And I was like, how can I get the ingredients to just like make bread? Because I can't go buy bread. And then you realize how much you save. And it's kind of a fun game, but it's also.
That would be so hard. What was the hardest part?
Food,
yeah.
Yeah, like even if I was out and I was like, because you just stop and get something like a protein bar if you need something.
Yeah.
No, you plan ahead.
That wasn't an
Pack
option.
it, even if you're going, especially if I have a really long day, and then you're not thinking about it afterwards. So I would say that was probably the hardest thing. And then, because I was with Mitchell at the time too, not going on dates. He does not.
Oh,
He was like, this sucks.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's only for 1 week. It
Yeah.
could've been worse.
No.
Yeah.
I do think maybe it was longer. I think I did longer. I don't think it was just 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Or just 1 week. I think it was
Okay.
like 2 or 3 because he was like, because I was like, oh, I'm going to do the poverty
That's a
weekend.
long time.
It is a long
Yeah.
time. But I think it also teaches you to like monitor, like, whoa,
Makes you very aware, probably.
I'm putting
of
out a
all the
lot.
little
Yeah.
purchases. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do love spending money also.
Yeah.
It's fun, especially when you're with people and you're like, oh, yeah, we'll do this. We'll go here. So
Yeah. To have
there's
the
the
freedom
balance
to do that.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. What things did you not cut out of your budget and why? Talk about like when we have been like really restricted and didn't have a lot of money.
Oh man. I feel like when we were restricted, we just weren't buying anything. I mean,
No, I know.
food.
The only thing that we didn't cut out for me, I was gonna say would be like the gym, like paying for the gym.
Yeah.
Or like our trainer or something. We'd still
Yeah.
figure out how to budget that. And I'm pretty sure when we had the programming from the one coach, Mike, am I forgetting his name?
Yeah.
Mike. It was only like $50 a month. And we
Yeah.
and we were like, oh, we gotta split like
That was
$25 a month.
Still a thing.
Yeah, but we still did
Gym,
it.
Food. I mean, I don't think we did like clothes shopping
Oh,
during
no.
that time.
No, definitely not. Yeah, we
Yeah,
cut
literally
out.
just the basic
Yeah,
necessities.
what can I do to like live and save? And I think too, when you have a goal, you know, when you're not like, oh, I'm gonna live like this forever. I
Right.
think that's pretty miserable. Or like 10 years, you know. And I also think when you're teens, early 20s, that's just what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For the
that's
most part, like
true.
you're just trying to survive.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, especially if you are on your own and like doing all the things.
Right.
You just don't know how to like survive yet. So you just you have to cut everything out.
Yeah,
basically.
and we were in college, so we were paying for that
Yeah.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
you had your scholarship at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
yeah. But then, it's like you're trying to pay for that. You're trying
Right.
to live. You're trying to do rent, like everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It was definitely hard, but it was really good. I think
It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's actually what Mitchell was saying. He was like, yeah, but it's like, it actually, well, I'll get to that later. Let me ask the next question because I know. Okay. What's a time you really felt like you had no money and how'd you get through it?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it was when we
Yeah.
first moved here.
Yeah, that
to
was terrible.
Tennessee.
Yeah, that was terrible.
We'd driven across the country. We had all of our belongings in our cars, and we were originally gonna stay and rent at this like super crappy apartment complex that looked very unsafe. That fell through. Went to another crappy apartment complex.
Yeah.
Also very unsafe.
Yep.
And that's where we ended up renting from because the rent was just like what we could afford there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, the bedrooms were super tiny, and
Yeah.
but I mean, it was still like a roof over our heads, and it served its purpose.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I mean,
But at
it's
that
still-
point, like cupboards had no food in them, like fridge had like 5 things in it.
No, and that's the thing. That's what we got creative with too. And I think that's why like nannying was so clutch. Like I
Yeah.
love kids, all the families that I've nannied. I love you guys so much. But also it was very ideal because I could eat there.
Yeah,
I was like
your meals are taken care of.
literally
there.
like 2
Yeah.
meals a day that you're not paying for.
Yeah.
That is when you're actually trying to survive,
Yeah.
you actually feel like you have no money. That is the difference.
Yeah.
That's literally the difference from being like, I got this, I'm good to go, or like, dude, I have no money. Like I can't. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that was
both
amazing.
of us nannying was so helpful
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah. I think our fridge, we had like eggs and
What else did we have? What were our basics in there? I don't even know.
I know that for that whole like first 3 to 4 months, all I had every single morning for breakfast was like I did like 4 eggs and then I did frozen vegetables scrambled in.
So
And it was like the peas and carrots from the Walmart one, the Great
Yes.
Value one.
Yep.
I could just see the Great Value.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
and that's all I had for like months. But it was so cheap. And
Oh,
that's all I
yeah.
had. And I remember having a meeting with Mike daily about like financials because he was the best. He's one of my mentors. And he literally was like, all right, so like how much are you spending on groceries? This is also like 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, a week? And he's like, yeah. I was like, $35. He was like, do you not eat out? And I was like, no. He's like, that's it? And I was like, yeah. I was like, because a lot of it I'm eating at the house in nannying at. And then college campuses, and I really relied on this, had the food pantries for students.
Yes. Yeah.
That was so class.
You'd bring home random like mac and cheese. Like, didn't matter though.
It didn't matter. I was like, it's free.
Great. Yeah, the little peanut butter cups. There were a ton of those.
Yeah. Also, you couldn't get away with that now. $35.
35. Oh,
No,
my
not even
gosh,
now.
no,
Like, it's
that
insane.
Would be insane. But I remember when we both got COVID, like the day before we were like quarantined, or the night before we were quarantined, we had like a cup of noodles and like split it together at our little table.
Oh, yep.
You remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think I have like a video of you
Those were some dark
that
times.
evening.
We were
That
just like
was not-
surviving.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
not a fun time.
Okay, next question. How'd you navigate outside pressure, friends, expectations, social media when budgeting?
I don't think that, I feel like our friend group for the most part for a while, I've not felt a lot of pressure from.
Yeah, me neither at all. Yeah.
To have any kind of
Anything.
car, any
At
kind
all.
of house. Like,
Yeah.
haven't really felt that. Social media wise too, I just feel like we know it's so curated now.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
also
like,
wasn't on social media for a really long
Yeah,
time too when I was
it's
budgeting
true.
hardcore. So I like
Yeah.
didn't think about that too. Yeah. I think what resonated in this question for me when it's like talks about friends, social things and expectations, I think going out is a huge money pit. If you're trying to save money, just even on like dinner and stuff, we've never really been like the going out type vibes. But I would say if you're someone who's trying to budget, don't go out.
Yeah.
Do not do it, because it is just like, especially don't get drinks out. It is
Yeah.
so expensive to buy alcohol out. And like, even when like if we would go out to dinner and would have drinks, we'd be like sneaking little shooters in and like pouring them in our like soda water or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then that's like $30 if you want 2 drinks. Like, it's crazy.
It is.
So I
yeah.
think we always did that. And like any of our friends were always like, they were not like, oh my gosh, how cringe. They're like, that is genius. I should have done that.
Seriously, but
Yeah.
there is that pressure. I love that advice to not go out if you are trying to save money.
Just don't go out.
Just
yeah.
decline.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh no, I can't have any fun. Like, oh no, are you just down to like cook something and like drink at home? Or
Yeah.
like if you're trying to have drinks. I feel going out and having drinks though, I feel like is the thing that
It's
people
true.
do. So it's just
Yeah.
like, don't do that. It is I feel like if you're trying to save money, it's an enormous waste of money.
It's true. And I feel
Yeah.
like we have a great balance of we'll come over to each other's homes and cook a lot and just have like wine, there instead of going out. But we also like to go out. But it's a good balance.
Yeah, but literally, like, when is the last time you and I went out to dinner? We did do something though recently, right?
we went to Cava, but that was like probably 2 months ago.
I think that was even further.
We'll do coffee together.
We'll get coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that we don't enjoy it or it's not fun to like get I went on a date last night with my mom, but it's just like if you're in a season of saving.
It's true.
Ooh. Write that down. If you are, then and just be honest.
Yeah.
And also don't be a bummer about it. Don't be a bummer about it, because it brings out the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Try and be fun about it. Be like, hey, love the idea. Would love to do that. And if it's a group of people, be like, I am going to just pregame in the car and then we'll go in and I'm not going to buy any drinks, you know? And then like still go. You can still do it if that's what you want to do. But
For sure. And I don't even think you always have to say something either. It's just
That-
like, don't get a drink if you don't feel like you can afford a drink.
yes, yeah, yeah. And then like, don't sit there and be like, oh, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. It's so expensive. It's a bummer thing to do. Don't be a bummer.
Don't be a bummer. Don't be a wet blanket.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. I love this. Okay. What are 1 or 2 money habits you would recommend to someone who's just getting started on their financial journey? Like being like, all right, I'm going to reel it in. I'm going to start making some savings. Again, not financial advisors here. We're just talking about what we have done that's worked for us.
Yeah, I think debt is a huge thing. Like, I don't know where someone's starting from, but if you're starting with debt, like, I think that's the first thing to start cracking down on
Yeah.
and paying that off.
Yeah.
as
Don't
soon
buy
as you
anything.
can.
Yeah.
I know that we've always been very aware of debt. Like we both went to community college for the first 2 years of our college experience, and
Yeah.
that saved us so much money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we never went into
Credit
college
card debt, or
credit card debt, car debt of any sort. So if you don't have any debt right now, know that that is huge.
That's massive.
That actually puts you ahead of so many people. And if you do,
it's
like,
okay.
that is definitely the first thing to start working on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Again, not a financial advisor, but I feel like
just
that
like,
is a really important thing.
Yeah, treat that like it what it is. Don't still go out like you're not in debt.
Right.
Don't spend the money. I hate to say this, but like, stop getting your nails done. You know what I mean? Like, stop. You know, if you're like, if this is something that's choking you,
Right.
don't do it, because it's like, I mean, I've gone years without getting my nails done. I'm like, now I love getting my nails done, but because I'm in a place where I can do it and it doesn't feel like, oh, like, you know, I can't afford this.
You
type thing.
can afford it.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
The other thing I would say that was crucial, I think, for you and me, and then also even for Mitchell too, when we were like starting out and everything, is get a side hustle. Because bartending was huge for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. And I think especially if you can get a side hustle. So if you just have a job and you're like, I know that feeling when you're like, this is all I make. Like, this is not, I'm not going to solve any problems here. It's like, yeah, it's not. And no one's going to save you. So you got to figure something else out. And yes, it's okay to work 2 jobs and also not hate your life. Like, we had fun when we bartended and we did those things.
Yeah.
But I would also say, get a side hustle that's on the weekends, because there's so many people who the weekends is when they spend all their money. So it's like you double get ahead because you're not spending any money and then you're just making more money.
Yeah.
Just get something that's just going to get you like a couple $100 every weekend. And then you look at that at the end of the month, you're like, oh, I got like $1,000 extra towards whatever it is. And I would definitely recommend something that has tips. Like,
yeah. That's so ideal.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Matthew is a firefighter, but that is not like the most lucrative career by any means. And so on top of that, he is a personal trainer, and that is like, it's all online. It's super flexible hours, but it's like that side hustle that you're talking about that really does add up and make a difference long term as far as like a supplementary income.
That's literally what I started with. Soccer for me was a side hustle.
Yeah.
And then it turned into my entire business too. Because you'd be so surprised too what a side hustle can do for you as far as like just bringing in, like, I feel like not even going that hard. Probably with bartending, we made an extra like $15,000 a year probably. Like legit. And it's not that brutal. Like, you just, you know, pick up some shifts. Again, event bartending. I would look into event bartending. It's so good. Yeah, because you just pick it up on your own schedule. The hourly's high, and then the tips are usually super good.
Super good.
And if that's not something that you can do, then figure out something that you can do.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. No, you got this.
No, it's
great. No, but
I love that.
Yeah, get a side hustle. So yeah, that was very helpful. Okay, how has living below your means impacted your confidence, peace, and faith?
Ooh, I like that. I feel like it does give you a lot of peace.
So much.
You know, like, I'm not trying to keep up and get the latest, like,
latest
clothing,
and greatest.
the latest car. Like, I don't feel that pressure.
Yeah.
It's honestly really, really nice.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
true.
about it often, honestly. But when I do, like, as we're talking about it, I'm like, man, it's so nice to not feel the pressure to have to buy something or to have to appear a certain way to my friends and to my family.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And I also think when you have lived in like in a place where you're like, I feel like I have no money, like this is bad. It actually is so freeing because you're like I have had to couch surf, you know what I mean? And have everything in my car and figure out somewhere to stay every night. Like that is not a fun place to be. It kind of is though, especially when you're young. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go back, but but it's an adventure.
It is an adventure, but my point is, I did that, I got through it, and I was fine. It wasn't the end of the world. And when I was making the leap from having my corporate job to like trusting my business and jumping in, I was scared, 100%. And I was like, let's go to the worst case scenario possible. I lose absolutely everything. I lose my home. I lose I literally just like, let's just like pretend Mitchell can't even work anymore. Like, it's over.
Right.
Oh, I'm living in my car. I'm couch surfing. Have I done that before? Yes. Was it Super fun? No. But did I make it work? Yeah. Could I do that again? Sure. Boom. Like, take the leap.
Nice.
So I think that's like kind of, we think we need all these things.
Right.
And then we're like, no, I don't really.
In reality, it's like, you'll be fine.
Yeah. But I do think that going there is not necessarily the worst thing. Just thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about that, going to like the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And actually playing it out. Like, realistically, what is the worst?
Have you ever had to do that financially? Have you like been like, all right?
I don't think so. I mean, I think I honestly don't think that I thought a lot about our financial situation when we didn't have any money. I was like, this is just how it is.
Yeah, this is how,
This is the season that we're in. And it was like, we're eating DiGiorno pizza. Awesome.
That was excited. A huge treat for us, okay?
Yep.
We would get
frozen DiGiorno. What is it called? Blank not delivered. Designer not delivered.
No. Baked? No. Design.
DiGiorno. It's something not delivered, right?
Not delivered. Ah, no.
I have no idea. I used to know it so well.
Yeah, you used to literally say it. Something not. Oh, yeah, DiGiorno. This episode is sponsored. No, okay.
No, but DiGiorno, and then occasionally we'd get like a very cheap bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I remember one time we did that.
Yeah, we did. And
we were celebrating.
And we were
something.
Like, we are so bougie right now. We have
crazy.
a bottle of wine of frozen.
And we sat in our living room.
We didn't even have a TV. We didn't even have a TV. So if we were going to watch the show, we pulled it out on her laptop. And
Yep.
And my dad came to visit us. And he was like, what? You guys don't have a TV? Like, what is wrong with you people? We're like, we are on a budget here, sir.
Yeah, we were just like, oh, we never need one. Like, it's totally fine.
I know. Yeah, I don't even think we were
Yeah,
like...
he was totally judging us, and we were just like, we're doing what we can.
Yeah, he was like, oh, okay. I think he really didn't even think that it was a budget thing. He was just like,
right.
Why don't you guys have a TV? Like, what? Like,
yeah.
We were trying to survive over here, Marco.
But yeah, I don't think that I thought about it too much. I remember one time where I was like, oh my gosh, do I even have enough money in my bank account for gas right now? And that's when I was like... It feels a little tight right now, and that was probably.
But that was. Do I remember you telling me that afterwards? I was like, "Bro, like you could have texted me."
I was like, "Nope, I'll figure it out." I was like, "I literally don't know what I'll do," but I made it home, so it was fine.
But wasn't it because someone was paying you super late though too?
Yes. Yeah.
Something happened to them and they didn't get you. Yeah.
Paused on like their bank account, and so they were paying me late. But that's how tight it was. Like we were really living like paycheck to paycheck at that point. And so because
we're also like 21. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's pretty tough. That's good.
Yeah.
So again, we are not financial advisors, okay? But these are things that I feel like have helped us, and I would have enjoyed listening to this when I was like 19, 20. I'd been like, okay.
It's true.
You know. So
But I think that there is a lot of freedom too. I just want to tie in faith too to this, because it's like
let's go
we
there.
do not take any of our earthly possessions, including money, with us to heaven. Like all of this is so temporary.
Yeah.
And I think that perspective is so important to have too. That also makes me want to be more generous.
Yes.
Because
I'm gonna die.
Will be so much more fulfilled knowing, like looking back
100%.
on my life and going like, I gave of what I had generously.
Yes.
I didn't
so good. Yeah.
hold on to it with a tight fist only to not have it in the next life.
Yeah. Okay. That leads me to tithing.
Yes.
Okay? Tithing has like changed my life. It had like, and I've always talked to you about that, but like how I'd always like, usually when I'm feeling tight on money, I'm like, that's when I need to give some. And then I told you how I recently learned, like, I thought tithing was just like being generous, like tithing 10%, until I realized it was literally like, no, tithing to your church. I had a lot of like kind of religious trauma and resistance around tithing to a church, felt super uncomfortable about it for a while. And then God changed my heart. I got over that. And then making tithing a priority has 100% changed my life. Like it feels so good.
That's awesome.
Because
I love that.
if you can look at everything through the lens of, okay, this would be sweet because I'll make this much more money, and then I'll be able to give this much more money.
Yeah. And then it's not only about you making
Yeah.
money. It's like, now I get to give this much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
perspective.
And I heard this analogy of like, so if there's a dad buys his son a brand new car, right? And then the son gets the car for his birthday, super excited. And the dad comes to the son later that day and is like, hey, could I borrow your car really quick and like take it to the street, down the street and get ice cream and come back? And the kid's like, no, that's my car. Like, that's what we'll do with money. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, really? Like, I gave you this.
He's like, I gave you this.
And I'm like, it's my money. He's like, dude,
so
what?
true.
So I think I try and remember that. And I'm like, yeah, what am I even doing? Like, this is
Yeah.
the most important thing that I could be doing with my money.
It all belongs to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, it's not a weight. It's not a weight when you, because that which you fear, you worship. And so when you have so much fear around money and you're afraid it's not coming back, I don't have enough, I can't give it away, you end up worshiping it.
It is your idol.
It's your idol. But if you only fear God, you will fear nothing else. And so I remind myself, if I'm having that fear around money, I'm like, I'm worshiping money right now.
Wow.
Yeah, God convicted me of that like a
That's
couple
so
months ago, and I was like,
powerful.
oh, this is hard. I was like,
Man.
yeah. He was like, yeah, you're worshiping it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's pretty humbling.
That's so powerful.
Yeah. That was
you-
a huge shift for me.
Yeah.
Been like, okay, that what I fear, I end up worshiping it. So it's like,
That's so
nope.
interesting because I just I think it was yesterday or the day before was thinking about tithing, and I need to set up just like the automatic tithing
Nice. Yeah.
monthly at our church because I know that's really important to
Yes.
do, but it's like it's so easy to just get out of the habit of tithing.
Yeah.
I used to be so good about
Yeah.
it, and I have not been lately.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
this is inspiring.
It's happening for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've always been incredibly generous. Like
Well, thank
I
you.
would,
Yeah.
everyone needs to know that. No, for real. No, you really, really, really have been always so generous. And it is encouraging to see. And it's fun to be generous too.
It is.
Like you get a lot out of being generous.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. That's a wrap. We're out of time.
Are we cheersing?
Oh yeah. Cheers. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I would greatly appreciate if you could share this episode with 5 people you think could benefit from the show. Also, please feel free to connect with me on Instagram at IzzyChinche or my website at izzychinche.com. Thank you so much for being you. Keep being a leader and making this world a better place.